Welcome to Impact at Work, a special VMJ pod series with Jo Vohland and me, David Macciocca. Each week we explore how talent leaders are defining the future of work, not by speed or output, but by the real difference they make in creating meaningful impact in the workplace.
Welcome to the VMJ pod. We are discussing all things impact at work. I'm David Macciocca.
And I'm Jo Vohland.
And I am very excited to have a wonderful guest,
Karyn McShane. Thank you so much for being here.
No problem. Thank you, Jo.
Karyn, you've got quite a meaty, amazing role at Australia Post, Talent Attraction and Mobility Manager. Before we start off, do you want to sort of walk us through the scope of that role?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been with Australia Post for 6 years, and I've been a talent attraction manager for that period of time. And I have had responsibilities and different portfolios within that time. And so my primarily my first role was within retail and contact centre, and that was running that national team and delivering on all things retail contact centre. And this year I've taken up a secondment and I am working in the network ops division and recruiting for one of our largest projects, which is our peak project. And that is where we recruit 3,700 plus candidates for our Christmas period. And I'm leading the design on that process at the moment, optimizing all the processes from last year, and getting us all ready. And believe it or not, we really start putting the foot down around July, for then starting hirings around October. So there's a lot of work behind the scenes. So I'm really enjoying the pivot, and I've also got early careers under my remit as well. And we are, I suppose, reviving that within the Australia Post space. So yeah, that's quite exciting as well.
That's incredible. And look, just to help you out, I never send anyone a Christmas card. So, you know, that's...
There you go.
Yeah, that's just one less thing for you to worry about, Karyn.
We've got lots of parcels. So
yeah, I may be slightly more guilty in
online shopping. Yeah, they're keeping us busy.
So that's a really big remit that you've got. What's taken most of your focus at the moment?
It's actually optimizing. We've spent loads of time discussing with our stakeholders, our candidates, and also our team, and going, what can we do better? How can we enhance the process? We want to make it as seamless as possible. When you're dealing with high volume applications, you really want to ensure that the process is really positive for the candidate. And these candidates are our customers and through essence. So you want to ensure that, we're really delivering a good service for them as well.
Well, talking about impact at work, this is a big one. How are you looking to improve from last year's cohort? Where are the areas of opportunity on the retros that you are doing?
Really, the call outs are around the candidate experience. When you're managing high volumes of applications, and I suppose people applying so early in the piece, so you could well see our jobs in market in July, but you're not like starting until December. It's really about ensuring that our communications and our comms to market are super clear about that process so that your expectations are being met. So we really looked at that. We got feedback that potentially that could be improved. So that's what we've spent a lot of time. We're designing a new landing page. People are going to be coming through that landing page, getting all the information they need. Our teams deal with lots of questions. So we try to really look at every exhaustive question that we could think about and ensure that we have that embedded within comms or early up in the piece so that people aren't wondering. That's the worst thing, I suppose, if you do go into any recruitment process and wonder where you are. We also have lots of people who, have family working with Post, and you want to ensure that they're saying, "Oh, it's working well. I know where I am," because that could create some queries as well for us. So it's all about optimization.
And did you go down that path? Because I'm just guessing here, I might be wrong. Was there people who were offered a role in, say, June, July, but then for one reason or another, their situation changed or they just were unaware? So the metric you're looking to go after is reneging, effectively?
Yes, a bit of that, but it's really just ensuring that people know when you apply for a role, you're kind of like going, okay, what's happening? Where's next steps? And in some cases, we're not moving people through the next steps until later in the piece. And so that is the key piece.
Okay.
But yeah, there are multiple volumes of people that also scatter their applications at that time as well, because it is a seasonal role. So they may apply to 10 different roles. So we want to make sure that they understand the role and that they stay engaged with us. But equally, if we knock them out, that they feel okay about it. We've kept in touch and we've kept them informed.
Love it. Well, that's a huge transparency piece. It's a huge communication piece. It's a huge opportunity to create impact at work. Now, your current role is with Australia Post, but I know you've been in the talent space for a long time now. Now, I don't know about you, Karyn, but I kind of felt like coming out of my teens and, you know, into my early 20s, I started in recruitment when I was 21. Back in the late 90s.
It's the magic number. I'm sure there's a lot of people who started recruitment at 21.
Yes,
yeah, there we go. And I kind of felt like, you know, you're in this career building phase, and I don't know why I had this assumption, but I really felt like I'll turn 30 and then it'll be a smoother ride. You know, I'll have figured everything out. Life will be a bit of a straight line. And I feel like instead we were hit with the GFC and we've just had transformation after transformation, global changes, you know, ever since. So you started your career, you must have experienced something similar then.
Yes, all of the above. Um, yeah, I started similar to you, Joe, just came straight out of uni, and we hear this so many times, but I was like, what do I want to do when I grow up? And I went straight into recruitment and absolutely loved it. I was very lucky to secure a role within an agency, a local agency that was the largest in Ireland. And I retained a career with them for 13 years. So, yeah, I was really, really happy. The market was thriving, and yeah, I really felt I had found such a just a happy place. You have to work hard. It was the agency grind, but I absolutely it just was such a good fit for me. And I then had my two kids, and coming back with my second boy in 2007, what you call the GFC here, we called a long, hard recession back in Ireland because it rested with us for about 10 years. And so that was quite the shock. I needed to return to work, and that was an absolute. But then I moved in, actually, I got promoted into a regional manager role at the same time. So um, walking back into that environment completely different, and it was like an overnight switch, like from good to bad, which you then are limited with your choices because you can't move around because everyone else is experiencing the exact same. If you go to another agency who aren't hiring, the clients are the exact same there as well. So what I really felt was that was such a shift, and I just knew I had to stick with it. And so what I experienced through that time was we had to make lots of redundancies. We had to close branches. That was me. I was the front facing person doing that. And that's not a joy for anyone. That's a hard graft each week, walking in and potentially looking at people and conveying this news that they're just all dreading. Um, but look, I stayed. I stayed there for about 5 years. I was quite hopeful that things would come good. There was always like glimmers of hope that things would improve. And eventually, then I was made redundant as well, and I was left with a stark choice. What am I doing now? Am I going to stay here? Am I going to go? I had family here, and I had traveled here as a backpacker, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go back and give Melbourne a go. And so I took my two kids and husband, and we moved. Really big decision. Wouldn't recommend it to anyone. It's a tough gig.
Yeah.
Still have to make that decision every day. But yeah, landed here, and just my love for recruitment was reignited. I really I fell into volume projects and found my groove. I worked on some fantastic projects around the Department of Justice and VPS grads, just some really fantastic projects. So, and I done that for up on 5 years before then securing the role here at Australia Post. So yeah, that's my kind of career trajectory, and within that all, just needing to show up and yeah, do the job and juggle full-time work. There wasn't any hybrid options. I was on a visa. I needed to, demonstrate that I actually could, keep that visa, etc. So it was a hard road for sure.
So when we talk about impact to work, what I'm hearing is resilience. I'm hearing that an attribute to have a balanced work is to face up to the fact that things are going to change.
Yeah,
I think so, because it's the other big thing that happened during this time was obviously COVID as well. So you've gone from the heyday of everything's going so well in the economy and so well in agency life to the global financial crisis and recession to transitioning to a new continent, then into COVID. And, we've now got this next frontier, this new AI frontier coming in front of us. And I kind of feel like there's this state of like, when do you get to just exhale and relax? When do you get to just go, I know what to expect from the future?
When the robots take over, Jo.
Yeah. Oh, God. I thought it was going to be when I won the lottery. But I think, bringing it back to impact, I mean, there's times within that you've been on, I guess, the right side of the impact. You know what I mean? The wrong side of it. You've been impacting, involved in impacting others. You've been impacted yourself. But
correct.
Yeah, I think you're right, David. Like coming back to that, you've got to have if you want to be in this career until you retire, you have to have a level of resilience and understanding how to work and move through transformations and different disruptions. What's the secret sauce for you?
Look, I think I don't know whether it just came from the way I grew up. I just felt that everything that I've been through, I knew that no one else was coming to save me. So like I had to make decisions to get out of the situation I was in because I had 2 kids and a husband, and we were like, no one's going to rescue us.
Yeah.
So when that happened and I, got the news delivered that I was going to be made redundant, I kind of saw the writing on the wall as well. The way you have to kind of like be clear that this could happen to you as well. So when that news was delivered, I needed to go, is there another place that I could be, that I could grow? Because I really felt I was stagnant then. I was just going through the motions. Whereas now that I'm in a new environment, I really feel that this is, and as I said, when I came into volume projects, I really found that I'm really good at this. Like I really got that reignited, and then started to feel safe and started to feel that I could, do this job. Whereas I think I was in survival mode a lot of the time back, trying to prove myself so that I wouldn't be made redundant. Whereas now I feel I'm in a really safe place. You can show up as yourself, and you can move through that.
This episode is brought to you by Video My Job, your go-to platform for creating branded employee videos at scale with zero editing. If you're burning time and budget producing talent content, there is a better way. Book a demo at Video My Job to see how teams like yours are creating hundreds of employee videos without editing a single thing.
When you say, I feel great now because I feel like I'm in a safe space, is this, specifically related to Australia Post? Is it related to the leaders and the people it seems to me like when you've got that solid foundation underfoot, then that burden of stress is removed and you're free to just do great work and have great impact.
Yeah. When I saw the role, I take it back even to that. When I saw the role advertised with Australia Post, and yeah, I know people talk about values, but the values were, it's ties. So it's trust, inclusivity, empowerment, and safety. And I was really drawn to that. I really resonated strongly with it. I wanted somewhere like, yeah, just to land and to really align with my values. And what was even more beautiful was when I came in, you could really see them people, it wasn't just that was in a job ad. It was actually like you felt it every day. And words like psychological safety, I really just was starting to hear that in this narrative here. I didn't hear that in previous roles. So when I look back, I'm going, oh, I could have done with a bit of that
Yeah.
and a bit of support, but actually, I just was like moving through the motions. So that's what I really loved about here, and showing up to leaders, them trusting you to do your role. And I suppose even with COVID, I think it escalated a lot of that for us because, you know, we are now able to work from home. You are more empowered. And even as leaders, we're able to empower our teams more. And I know I have happier teams because of that. They're able to run their kids to school and then come home and do their job and lift their kids again. So I would have loved that in my first few roles as with young kids. And now my kids are nearly going to be driving themselves, to school. So I think that all of that trust to do your job, the inclusivity piece is so important. I think everything that I've been through, I'm a real strong on empathy and having to move countries and kind of want to fit in and all of that there. It does make you real empathetic to everyone's situation. And I feel very grateful every day that I have the opportunity. Not everyone's got the opportunity to be able to come to Australia and set up a life. And so I'm very grateful. And so that makes me again just resonate with those types of values that Australia Post have.
How are you going about nurturing the relationships that you currently have? It sounds like you have a lot of autonomy in your role, and that just doesn't just happen. Whereas in the past, previous roles, it sounds like you're a cat on a tin roof, and it sounds like fast forward to today, and you've got a lot more autonomy and trust, and that doesn't just happen. How do you go about nurturing your relationships at Australia Post?
I think I have came in, and it hasn't always been like that. So I think it takes time to build a strong culture, and our business is going through lots of different change, and within our particular P&C team, there's just a really strong culture. So where I suppose part of that is to do with where we are. So we're in a brand new office here since last July. So in terms of collaboration and the design of it's just so beautiful. So I feel very privileged coming into work every day, and you could be scattered anywhere and sitting, you just block book. I think that's important as well, and that people aren't sitting in offices away from the people. You're sitting amongst different people and saying hi and getting to know someone who maybe isn't your day-to-day contact. But a strong part of this is the strong leadership that I have worked under. One of my key things about coming into into Australia Post was that I wanted to learn and grow and learn from really good leaders. And I knew that some of the experiences that I had previously weren't the best for me and weren't the best supportive style that I needed. And coming in, I've got that from several leaders that I've worked with within Australia Post, and just have really enjoyed looking at the way they do things, getting advice, talking through different ways that they have done it, and then adapting some of the ways maybe I've done something in the past and just adapted that. So I've loved that. There's some really good I suppose courses and stuff that have been ran as well on leaders so that, getting the opportunity to go along and just constantly be developing that. So I don't think you ever stop. So even though I thought I'd be completely like polished, sorted, done. You have that much experience. And I'm like, going, you're growing all the time.
Yeah.
We have a fantastic leadership team. We were out for breakfast, hanging out this morning. They're just such a lovely bunch of people. You actually want to spend time with them. And we all like help each other with advice and that's really nice as well. I think sometimes in my agency experience, and definitely this was true for me, not necessarily everyone, but sometimes we were in competition with each other, and that isn't the case now. So there's no one, we're all just on the same level and we're trying to help each other out. And I think, yeah, what I suppose that my leaders have done for me, I've done for others. And we pretty much set the scene, make sure everyone knows what they're responsible for, and give them the free rein to do it.
And then in turn, I suppose you're having a greater impact at work.
Yes, yes, and enjoying it. Like you need to come to work and you're here a lot of the time, and you're at home and these people are in your kitchen. So, my kids are seeing these people. And so, that's what I love, that there's structure. I actually am a real process queen. So I love structure. I love really knowing what we're trying to achieve. So I think the business does that very well in terms of, this is our strategy, and then all the different layers to actually bring everyone on the journey. And we're going through a huge transformation, and there's a huge journey that Australia Post needs to go through. So, as long as we're clear as leaders what it is every person is trying to achieve, I think then I can make an impact. So this year, I want to do an excellent job, develop strong relationships with my stakeholders, ensure that they have seamless communication, and ensure that we deliver an excellent peak for our candidates and my recruitment team. I want them to feel that they can round off the year and go, that we done a good job.
And I think that's half the thing, is that when you're, living in uncertain times, and you externally, and then you're also undergoing transformation. I mean, most people, when you talk about, oh God, there's transformation, there's this look of kind of dread. And instead with you, I saw your eyes light up. I saw you kind of go, oh, this is really exciting, because you know your place in that transformation, right? And I think that's really critical to how do you navigate those ups and downs of career and life, is having a sense of certainty about what your role in that is. And that seems to be what you found at Australia Post.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, I've been through redundancy. So you're going, not everyone's sitting comfortable going, because sometimes that can come to your door and you're not aware of it because you're not aware of a strategy. But for now, I'm going, that is something that I'm just always aware of. And I'm always providing support and talking to team members that if they're concerned. I suppose from a big industry perspective, we're looking at where our businesses, where I suppose our talent teams are moving, and it's moving towards this advisory space. And we done a really great collaboration session last week with the entire team, and just talking about all the what's going on in market, the AI transformations, and it maybe doesn't feel comfortable for absolutely everyone, because you're wondering, what will it look like in a few years? What will our roles look like? And so that's the next journey, I suppose, is really thinking about what does it need to look like. And I suppose any of the sessions that I've been to, it's really, embrace the changes, and all my experiences have led me to lean in to whatever it is and whatever change is coming, and learn. And because if you start putting up blockers and you don't want to embrace that, you could be left behind. It's pretty much what I've taken away from a lot of sessions, and embracing the AI, embracing what that talent advisory role will look like. So yeah, just trying to figure all that out, and some of us just don't know what the end game looks like, so we're just all navigating that together.
I love that. That is such a great story, a great combination of growth and grit, isn't it?
It is, and a few clear attributes to really have: resilience, aligning to the company's values, the mission and vision, as well as there's a number of takeaways. It's been a fascinating episode. And if there was one last question.
Well, I was just going to say, I feel like anyone tuning in today is going to really want to work at Australia Post. Like, I feel like you guys are going to
work with Karyn.
Yeah.
We are hiring some roles.
One of the 3,700 people to join?
Yeah.
They have to wait 6 months though. Like, Christmas time.
Well, that's Christmas casuals, but I think in your talent team.
Talent team, yes, we're recruiting in our talent team. We're recruiting, yeah, we're busy. We have thousands of roles at the moment. So, yeah, we're a busy team. There's currently about 65 of us. So, yeah, based across the nation. So, yeah, we're busy. And any of the roles and stuff we have advertised currently or reach out.
Fabulous. Well, that sounds. I think that's a great place to end because it's. I think it'll lead nicely into more people in the talent community finding great, safe places to work. Is what it's all about.
Yes, that's lovely. Thank you, Jo.
Thanks for joining, Karyn.
Thanks,
so
David.
much, Karyn. Great to chat.